Are we witnessing the beginning of the end for the United States? It's a question that lingers in the air as we face an unprecedented situation. America's national debt, a towering figure that surpassed $31 trillion. This isn't a gradual increase we're talking about. The debt has soared by nearly $8 trillion since 2020. That's a steep climb in just 4 years. Now let's add some more weight to this financial scale. Projections suggest that President Biden's policies could stack a further $4.8 trillion to deficits by 2031. That's a lot of zeros. But it's not just about the numbers. It's about the sustainability of this debt. Rising inflation and interest rates are causing furrowed brows and nervous glances among experts. They're raising the alarm, warning us about potential future issues. Despite these challenges, the U.S. remains attractive for investors due to its status as the world's reserve currency. But for how long? What's driving this unprecedented rise in national debt? Let's peel back the layers to understand this complex issue. The Peter G. Peterson Foundation, a leading research group, points to several contributing factors. Firstly, we have burgeoning budget deficits. While strong GDP growth might suggest a healthy economy on the surface, the government is struggling to reduce its budget deficit. This means we are spending more than we earn, digging ourselves deeper into debt. Secondly, demographic trends play a significant role. As the baby boomer generation retires, Social Security and Medicare costs are rising. This demographic shift is creating a drain on the economy, contributing to the growing pile of national debt. Next, we have the policies of the Federal Reserve. In an effort to stimulate economic growth during downturns, the Fed has historically lowered interest rates. However, these low rates also encourage borrowing, adding to the debt load. Adding to the complexity, rising interest rates pose a threat to debt servicing costs. As rates increase, so does the cost of borrowing. This creates concerns over the maturity of a significant portion of the debt. If interest rates rise too quickly, the cost to service the debt could become unmanageable. Lastly, there's the potential for failed treasury auctions and inflationary pressures. Treasury auctions are a way the government raises money to pay off its debts. If these auctions fail, it could trigger a financial crisis. Inflationary pressures, on the other hand, can erode the value of money, making it harder to pay off debt. In summary, it's a mix of budget deficits, demographic trends, Federal Reserve policies, rising interest rates, and potential financial risks that are driving the national debt to record highs. The debt mountain keeps growing, and economic growth alone won't solve this issue. Urgent policy action is needed. We're in a debt crisis, but consumer spending is breaking records. How does that work? Well, let's break it down. We've seen record-breaking online Black Friday sales, an annual shopping tradition that marks the start of the holiday spending season. Consumers are dipping into their savings and credit cards to make their purchases, showing an interesting paradox. But it's not just Black Friday. Retailers have cleverly shifted to earlier holiday sales, changing the dynamics of the traditional Black Friday rush. It's a strategy that seems to be working, as we're seeing more and more consumers spending earlier than they used to. Now here's another twist. Despite inflation putting a dent in everyone's pockets, holiday sales are projected to increase up to 8% this year. That's right, even with the cost of living going up, the consumer spending machine isn't slowing down. So, what's going on? Are we just ignoring the debt crisis and spending our worries away? Or is there something more to this spending paradox? It seems that even in a debt crisis, the consumer spending machine keeps churning. But what are the long-term implications? So, is this the beginning of the end for the United States? A question that might sound dramatic, but it's also a question that's becoming increasingly relevant. We've explored the enormity of the United States national debt, a staggering figure that's now surpassed $33 trillion. We've delved into the various factors contributing to this alarming rise, including budget deficits, demographic trends, and Federal Reserve policies. In a twist of irony, we've also examined the paradox of buoyant consumer spending even as this debt crisis unfolds. Despite financial pressures, Americans are spending billions online, with record-breaking sales during events like Black Friday. The potential future issues are concerning. Rising inflation and interest rates are raising eyebrows about the sustainability of the debt. The warning signs are there. Experts are calling for urgent policy action, but the solution is far from clear-cut. The answer to whether this is the beginning of the end for the United States isn't clear. But one thing is certain: the debt crisis is real and it's serious. Only time will tell what the future holds for the world's largest economy.